A look at the new film Father Stu. It is in theaters now just in time for Easter. It is the inspiring true story of a down-on-his-luck boxer who finds his true calling as a priest. Join us now, the film's star and producer, Mark Wahlberg. Mark, it's great to see you. You and I got together to talk about this film on Sunday, today, the other day, and you truly are deserving of all the critical love you're getting for this film. For people who may not know the story, and I assume that's just about everyone, because as I remember it, you said you were sitting at lunch or breakfast with a group of priests you know and sort of got pitched this story. So who was Stu?
Stu Long was a journeyman from Helena, Montana. He started out as a boxer. He came to LA to become an actor. He fell in love with a woman who was really recruiting lots of people into the church. And of course, trying to do anything he could to start up a relationship with her, he agreed to be baptized. And then through an accident and then a diagnosis, he found his way into the seminary as a priest, and then he, as he came down with this rare muscular degenerative disease, IBM, he lost all of his physicality, but his spirituality soared, and he touched a lot of people in a very short amount of time. So definitely worthy of making a film, and hopefully even one day, they're campaigning to make him a saint. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, what struck me talking to you about this movie is how important it is to you. And you said this is the most important and best role that you've ever played, and you've played a lot of them. And the fact that it took you as long as it did to get this movie made, to the point where you finally said, you know what, a group of friends and I are just going to pay for this. It's that important to me. What was it about this story that so grabbed you, Mark?
I just knew it would touch so many people, obviously for myself as well, to have had a very troubled youth and then to be able to turn my life around after focusing on my faith. I really accredit all of my personal and professional success to my faith. So wanting to share that, and now seeing how much the story is touching people, it was just obvious that that Stu, he had a way of speaking to people and luring people in with his charm and charisma, and also he had a lot of real life experience, which, you know, when counseling others, they really trusted in Stu because they knew that he had experienced similar things.
So, Mark, just over here, tell us how you were inspired by what Mel Gibson did with The Passion of the Christ, to go ahead and just do it on his own instead of continuing to try to pitch studios.
Yeah, this was a tough sell for any kind of studio. Mel, I took a play from his book. He had financed the film himself, and also it gives you complete creative freedom. You know, anytime you bring in somebody else, especially as a financial partner, they have a complete and probably a different idea of what you should do creatively and tonally. And we didn't want any creative interference. I think between myself and Rosalind Ross, our writer-director, really saw what this movie was. It was not your typical faith-based film. It has a lot of edge. It's very raw. There is some language and violence in there, which is why we got an R rating. But, that was Stu's journey, and that's how a lot of people talk. So people really need to see something that is pretty honest and truthful, and certainly not watered down.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the things you were saying about your experience visiting churches. And some people, you go move from church to church because you keep getting pitched movies when you would go to different churches. It reminded me at my mom's funeral, I was standing in front of my mom's casket, and one of my friends from childhood came up and started lecturing me about Donald Trump. And I said, I will pray for your soul, but we're in church. Can you move along, please? But you literally have to leave churches because people are pitching you movies in churches, right?
Yeah, that was the case for a while. Either, a television show, all types of random different things. And I was really there for worship and not necessarily looking for new material. But, this particular film, I really feel like it chose me. The priest who told me the story was pretty adamant about making sure that it registered with me. And so the second time around hearing the story, I knew that, this was an opportunity for me to use my platform to do the greater good in God's work. And so I was excited about the opportunity. It just, again, wasn't the typical Hollywood movie. So we had to really just basically do it ourselves so we could have the freedom that we wanted.
That's awesome. Let's show another clip where Stu decides what he's going to give up for Lent.
For example, I am going to give up chocolate.
Hey, you guys should protest. You need sweetening.
Yeah, pick something else.
Well, what are you going to give up, Stu?
Me? was thinking maybe you guys, so I could sleep in on Sundays. No! All right. Alcohol.
Hey, that's not fair. You gotta pick something good that you'll miss to make it count.
I like this kid.
Adorable. I'm curious. I know that there are more faith-based movies in your future projects that you're working on, but as a Catholic, how does your faith sort of play out in your life?
Well, it's at the forefront. I mean, I started my day a couple of hours ago in prayer, and then I read my scripture, and that's the foundation. I'm pretty routine. People always got a kick out of my regimen and schedule, but it works for me. So when I find something that really works with my spiritual exercise, and then of course my own physical fitness, and then everything else during the day, I just I just keep it in that order, and then that's the priority list for sure.
Let's go to Lowell, Massachusetts' own Jonathan Lemire, who has a question for you, hopefully not about the Red Sox. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Not the Red Sox, Mark. We could talk about Tom Brady all day if you want. But yes, your faith is certainly at the center of this movie, but it's also your second boxing movie, which is the segue to Lowell, which is where The Fighter was set. In fact, my uncle almost got beat up by Dickie Eklund in a bar there. I wanted to know what drew you to that and to that sport and to why you think boxing creates such great cinema. There's a long list of classic movies involving the sport.
Yeah, you want to see some of the greatest films ever made. They're all kind of, have boxing at the center of them. With Mickey's story, I was just so inspired. Obviously, Boston's a great sports town, but Tom Brady's from Southern California or Northern California. Larry Bird is from Indiana. I mean, Mickey Lord was from Boston, or Lowell's close enough, in my opinion, and he was one of us. And for him to be able to pursue his dream and make it a reality was something that I just found very inspiring. We also announced recently that we're working on The Fighter 2, which I think is going to be amazing. And I better hurry up, though, because I know I'm aging out of the role. Thankfully, he is a little bit later in his life. But just great backdrops for story, lots of adversity to overcome. And, of course, Stu, as a boxer, he had a pretty bright career until he succumbed to injury. And so then, that was a nice segue in for me. But I loved his journey through Hollywood as well, him trying to become an actor. So many funny moments in that journey as well.
All right, Mark Wahlberg, thank you so much for being with us.
Mark.
We know it's awfully early out there. We greatly appreciate it. More importantly, we appreciate you putting your heart, your soul, and your money behind this movie. It's just a great one, and I'm going to make sure my family, we all go out to see it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, guys. God bless you. Willie, thanks again, buddy.
God bless you.
All right, man.
All right.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.